Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're gonna be speaking about Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn being official. We're gonna get into the details of all of that. We're gonna be speaking about Errol Spence possibly struggling to make weight in the lead up to his fight in Australia with Tim Tszyu. We're going to be speaking about Errol Spence touching down in Australia not too long ago. Then, of course, we're going to get into some open boxing topics. But before we get into all of that, if y'all could please hit the like button on the way in, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We on the road. We well into the 3,600 mark, looking to crack that 3,700 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Shout out to everybody that's in the comments so far. Shout out to my people. Shout out to the boy Z. What up? Josue Hernandez. What up? Za, King of Brooklyn. Marissa. Shout out Marissa in the building. I feel like I ain't seen Marissa in a little bit. What's going on? Chris Maldonado. My boy Za said Errol went from 154 to 160. Errol getting finished. God damn, I hope that's not the case. But we definitely gonna talk about it. And I put out a video earlier speaking about the whole situation. I'm gonna reiterate all of my points from that previous video. And we gonna keep it real on this fight between Errol Spence and Tim Tszyu. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like since a lot of people like Errol Spence and he's like a fan favorite and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of people aren't really paying attention to the red flags that are going on in the lead up to this fight. You know what I'm saying? From the mentality to, his preparation, I guess you would say. We're going to speak about all of this, man. And I ain't going to lie, as this fight is getting closer, I'm getting more and more concerned, man. I'm getting more and more concerned. So hopefully I'm wrong. You feel what I'm saying? Hopefully what I'm feeling is just me being in my head. Hopefully Errol Spence puts on a phenomenal performance and is able to, silence the doubters. Because at this point, I'm starting to doubt Errol Spence's chances in this fight. Yeah, I mean, Agent 86, what up? What's going on? How we feeling? Y'all go ahead, hit them likes, man. Let's get the algorithm on the up so the people know that Mazuma TV is live. Justin Jackson, what up? He said, I like how they greeted him in Australia. That's love. Well, Errol Spence is, like I said, he's a fan favorite, man. A lot of people like Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised that they're showing him love at all. And plus, from the very beginning where Errol Spence announced this fight with Tim Tszyu, he was speaking about the indigenous people of Australia and how he wants to do, like he wants his walkout to be a commemoration to the indigenous people of Australia. So for all we know, the people that showed up to the airport may be the ones that's also participating in his walkout. So that's dope. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't really know too much about the indigenous people of Australia and stuff like that. I'm not the most knowledgeable on them either, but I have heard some things. And the the racism that they face over there and all of that good stuff. I mean, it's good to see Errol Spence getting some love though, man. That's why a lot of these dudes they like to fight outside of their country because it seems like, I remember when Roy Jones was talking about he was a Russian fighter. Like, why the fuck would Roy Jones say that? Because the love that he gets in Russia supersedes the love that he gets here in his own country. I remember when Floyd Mayweather was talking about he gets so much love in the UK and stuff like that. He was actually contemplating living over there at one point in time. That may have been why Marvin Hagler moved to Italy, after his career was over with. Man, like we see this shit happen, time and time again. So it's a different type of love once you step out of the States. Like after Stephen Fulton fought Naoya anyway, they was making comic books about Stephen Fulton and showing him so much love out in Japan. Like Stephen Fulton gets a lot of love in Japan. You wouldn't even expect that. But I guess they respect him for taking their chance against, their guy. You feel what I'm saying? So it is dope to see that. That is a positive note. Yeah, I mean, my boy Tricks in the building said Ostarine versus Clomiphene. Let the best PED win. Yeah, this is gonna be an experiment right here, y'all. Remember when Ryan Garcia was like, what if we just have a league where, all fighters could just take steroids and just fight each other? Here's your opportunity, Ryan. Here's your opportunity. We definitely gonna talk about that. My boy Zah in the building said American fighters don't get love in their sports. America only cares about football and basketball. A lot of the times, even in basketball, a lot of especially, you know, black athletes, they receive a lot of hate, a lot of criticism from the media over here in the US, man. This is a very, very racist country if you haven't, figured that out by now. That's why like Kobe Bryant and them, they used to love, doing like basketball camps in like China and shit like that. Because in China, they're just so deeply loved and appreciated over there. It's a common theme with black athletes in America, man. Let's just keep that shit 1,000. My boy Zah said tainted supplements versus eggs. Yes. Yeah, I mean, my boy Slime, El Tortador, what's going on, brother? Beth Annual. This nigga said, Nathaniel said, I got done by a egg-tastic performance. Exactly. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I've seen people picking Ben, and I was in a group chat earlier, and I'm like, bro, I think Ryan's going to knock Conor Ben out. Like, I really think that's gonna happen. And it was a slight moment where I was about to bet some actual money. I was about to bet some actual money on Ryan Garcia to defeat Conor Benn. Then I thought about it. I said, yo, why would I put my money behind a fucking PED using racist? Why the fuck would I do that? That doesn't sound like Mark. Why would I support him in that way? That would be me rooting for him. Why would I, man, fuck Ryan Garcia. I was like, you know what, man? I mean, no, I ain't doing this bet, man. I ain't betting on neither one of these niggas. Man, fuck both of them, to be honest with you. But let me see. King of Brooklyn said I heard someone say Adames is fighting Canelo. No, to my knowledge, Canelo Alvarez and Christian and Billy are fighting each other. That's what I believe for the WBC super middleweight title. That's what I understand. If you take the character from the fighter, I think Ryan is better. Well, this is the reason. I don't even think it's because he's better. Because to be honest with you, I don't look at neither one of these guys as like high Q level fighters or one is just being so much ahead of the other. The reality is these guys aren't really top pedigree fighters at all, in my opinion. I don't think Ryan Garcia has good hand speed. He has good he got a nice little left hook and shit like that. Very sneaky counter with that left. He got sneaky counters with that left hook and shit like that. But I don't look at Ryan Garcia as like this top tier fighter. Like I really don't. Like I know he's popular and stuff like that, but look at all of his biggest moments. His biggest moment is Mario Barrios, show one of the worst champions of this era, of this generation, to be honest with you. Outside of that, quitting in fights, in multiple fights, in my opinion, tested positive for PEDs. Like this dude, Ryan Garcia, just can't seem to get right. And he's never showed me anything to make me feel like he's just on a totally different level from his peers. Like I don't see that. I see his peers outperforming him. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that's gonna stick out between these two is how the way Conor Benn is going to look at 147 pounds. It's just so crazy how easily people forget with previous fights. Like this fight wasn't even that long ago. And I seen this dude, Conor Benn, weigh in 150 pounds against Regis Prograis. It looked like an absolute dead man on the scale. And then he tried to bluff. He tried to bluff and say that, I could make 147. I could make 147. You probably can, but it's gonna take a whole lot. It looked like Conor Benn did everything he could in his fucking willpower to get down to 150 pounds. Now imagine getting down to that same 150 pounds, but then finding out later on that you have to be 3 pounds less than that. That's crazy to me. Conor Benn was at 147 pounds back in 2022, I believe. And he tested positive when he was trying to fight Chris Eubank. You know what I mean? He was banned by the British Boxing Board of Control over there, so he had to sneak over and do some fights in the U.S. He fought Orozco at 154 pounds, fought Pete Dobson at 154 pounds, and then from what I understand, he fought Chris Eubank back to back at 160 pounds. It's 2026 now. It's 2026. He fought Regis Prograis once he signed with Zuffa at 150-pound catch weight. There, he looked like an absolute dead man. I told y'all he's gonna have to cut into the muscle in order to make this weight. He's been holding that weight for so long that it's gonna have an effect on him in the fight. And do I think it affected his performance? Absolutely. I just think that Regis Prograis didn't have what it took in that very moment to take advantage of that. Regis Prograis was injured. He was over the hill, shot fighter at a weight class he did not belong in. Regis Prograis was a career-long 140-pound fighter, made him move up 10 pounds. While injured and being a shot fighter going up against what we deem to be a prime Conor Benn. You know what I'm saying? Conor Benn allowed Regis to have moments when he was literally handicapped. Power's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looked like he wobbled Regis a little bit, but Regis began wobbled. Nigga was getting wobbled ever since the Devin Haney fight. This nigga got rocked by Jojo Diaz. Couldn't finish him. Couldn't knock him down. You know what I mean? Couldn't really. And, you know, I seen them promoting the fight. Oh, he dominated Regis Prograis. Like, was it really domination or was it just Regis didn't have enough to bring to the table? So Conor Benn literally coasted to a unanimous decision victory. Like, I get it. Y'all supposed to be promoting the fight, Ring Magazine and all that shit. I get what y'all doing. But come on, man. Dominated Regis Prograis. Nigga, please. So he looked like shit at 150 pounds. Looked like shit at 150 pounds. Now, when you're clearly, you look malnourished, like you look like one of them niggas that be in them in the arms of the angel. For 25 cents a month, you could sponsor this child. Conor Benn could have literally been on one of them commercials. You know what I'm saying? With a motherfucking with a bum ass outfit on outside of a motherfucking a mud house or some shit, and niggas would really believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looked that bad. Motherfucker looked like he ain't eating days. It looked like he sucked, pause, everything up out of his system to make that weight class. Well, catch weight, not a weight class. So now you about to take 3 more pounds off of him, off of that. And I told y'all, when somebody is suffering or sacrificing to make a weight class, those last few pounds could be the reason why somebody completely loses the fight. You know what I'm saying? So now you're going up in there against Ryan Garcia, who, you know, is unprofessional himself and has missed weight in the past and shit like that. But I think 147 is a comfortable weight for Ryan Garcia. And I don't think he's going to be making the same sacrifices that Conor Benn is going to be making in the lead up to the fight. And one thing about Ryan Garcia is he starts out fast. And then on top of that, he seems like he's, you know, in that fight with Mario Barry, it seemed like he had good energy in the ring. Conor Benn didn't look like he had good energy in that fight with Regis Prograis at all. You know what I'm saying? So Zah said Conor not making 147. I mean, he's gonna have to if he want to fight for that world title. If he want to be eligible for that world title, he better be 147 pounds. And he claimed he can make it, so ain't no turning back now, unless you a fucking liar, which you've proven to been in the past. You know what I'm saying? Loyalty. You know, man, with Eddie Hearn, I'm loyal. Oh, you know, loyalty. Stabbed the shit out that nigga in the back. You was borrowing money from the nigga, all types of shit. Nigga was defending you. We was criticizing Eddie Hearn because he was defending a fucking drug cheat. He has been cleared. He has been cleared. He went through the process. The process. He is cleared. That motherfucker Eddie Hearn was back in your play the whole time. You stabbed that motherfucker in the back like that. And then you don't even give the nigga a call to explain why you did what you did. Conor Benn's top tier piece of shit. First team, all piece of shit. That's what Conor Benn is. All around the board. You know what I mean? I don't fuck with Ryan Garcia more than him because at the end of the day, Ryan, on top of being a piece of shit, being a liar, being a fucking drug cheat, he's also a racist and he doesn't like my kind. So why the fuck, you know, that just make me dislike him even more than Conor Benn. Regardless, I'm not supporting neither one of these guys. I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? My boy Slime said, I'll say this though. If Conor drops Ryan gonna quit mentally. Yeah, we can't rely on Ryan. When the going gets tough and when it get hot in that motherfucking kitchen, he gonna look for a way out. He gonna look for a way out. And then he's gonna blame everybody. He's gonna blame everybody for his loss. He's not gonna blame himself. He's not gonna say, oh, Conor Benn was the better man. Nope. It's gonna be a whole lot of excuses. Oh, I didn't really train for this fight. It was hard for me to get the weight off. I just didn't feel like being in there. I wasn't focused, and my dad didn't really train me for this camp. It's gonna be all types of shit. But anyways, man, let me go ahead and share the screen for the people to see. Let me share the screen for the people to see. It is officially announced, according to the Ring magazine, Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn is going down at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, September 12th. We all see who's going to be a part of this: DAZN, Paramount Plus, The Ring, Zuffa Boxing, along with Golden Boy Promotions. You see Ryan Garcia kind of step off that porch without Oscar De La Hoya permission. And Ring Magazine says Ryan Garcia will defend his WBC welterweight world title against Conor Benn September 12th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, live globally on Paramount Plus and exclusively on DAZN in the UK and Ireland. So I guess if you're in the UK or Ireland, it'll be available exclusively on DAZN, but globally it'll be available on Paramount Plus. So very, very interesting to see. I don't fuck with neither one of these guys, but it is a solid fight at the end of the day. So I'll go ahead and watch it. This is Conor Benn's first world title opportunity, from what I understand. And this is Ryan Garcia's first title defense as a champion. You know what I'm saying? So going to be interesting to see how the way these two guys mesh up. I think they are similar in certain ways. I think that Conor Benn is better than Ryan Garcia at certain things. For one, I think Conor Benn's busier. Conor Benn's busier. He let his hands go a little bit more. He could outwork you. He hustle in that ring. Ryan Garcia is more of a sniper. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody who doesn't throw that many punches, but when he does throw punches, he's looking to make them count. I do think he's a more accurate puncher than Conor Benn. I do think that he is I think he has better timing offensively than Conor Benn. Which goes hand in hand with the counter punching ability. And I think that he's a more devastating puncher than Conor Benn, especially post PED test. Post clomiphene, Conor Benn power hasn't really been showing up. Ryan Garcia, it just seems like he has some respectable power even after testing positive for clenbuterol. We seen him put Mario Barrios down. We seen him buckle Mario Barrios and shit like that. So with that being said, I do think that Ryan Garcia is going to defeat Conor Benn. I think Conor Benn's extreme weight cut is going to have an effect on his performance. Conor Benn is only getting older as these days goes on, because his body's maturing more and more, and it's going to be it's going to get harder and harder to get down to that 147-pound limit, especially when you haven't gotten down to the weight in 4 years. So taking that into consideration, along with all that muscle he done put on in those fights with Chris Eubank Jr. and shit like that, this is gonna be an uphill battle for Conor Benn, man. So you're gonna leave some fight in the gym, that's for sure. You're not gonna be performing to your best ability. You're not gonna be performing at full capacity. And then when Ryan Garcia hits you with one of those devastating shots, because Conor Benn is gonna get hit. This dude doesn't have great defense whatsoever. Neither one of them have good defense, to be honest with you. But once this dude, Ryan Garcia, hits this guy, Conor Benn, upside the head with a left hook, and he feels that shit, I don't know if he's going to have the conditioning. I don't know if he's going to have the stamina. I don't know if he's going to have the energy to actually bounce back from that shot. You know what I'm saying? So I could really see Ryan Garcia knocking Conor Benn out in devastating fashion in this fight September 12th. That's just my opinion. Do I think Shakur is going to be on this card? No, because from what I saw in the latest interview that Shakur did with Ariel Helwani, they're targeting October. So it looks like they're going to be ending this year off with a bang, yo. That's what it's looking like. According to Shakur Stevenson, he said that, the higher-ups, I guess, over at Zuffa want him to fight Devin Haney, and they're targeting October as a possible date. I don't think Shakur would really, to be honest, I don't think he'll really care. I think as long as he's being compensated well, I don't think he minds being a co-main event or anything like that. He did it with Edgar Berlanga, so why the fuck not? But I think they're gonna give him his own event, and if he ends up fighting Devin Haney, there's no way that that's gonna be a co-main. There's no way that's a co-main event fight. That's his own event in itself. You know what I'm saying? But that's the fight that has been officially announced. Oscar De La Hoya was saying that, to slow down because they ain't get no permission from him just yet. I guess they went ahead. They spoke to Oscar De La Hoya. They got his approval. So Oscar De La Hoya involved in another big fight. You know what I mean? Salute to Oscar De La Hoya. Shout out to Golden Boy. Shout out to everybody else who put this fight together. And I'm not rooting for anybody in particular, but as of right now, based off of everything that I've been seeing, I think Conor Benn gets knocked out, man. And if he doesn't get knocked out, he's definitely going to touch that canvas. That's how I feel about the whole situation. Zaz says Shakur going to get finished by Haney. I don't think it's going to be that simple, brother. I don't think it's going to be that simple at all. Says Norman Jr. and Haney was a co-main fight, so you never know. Well, respectfully, Norman Jr. and Haney isn't Shakur Stevenson and Haney. That's a totally different level. That's Norman Jr. don't got neither one of their names. And considering Haney and Shakur done been, rivals for so long and they got so much history and they happen to be some of the most notable names amongst this generation of boxers, it's going to be a totally different level. Like Brian Norman Jr. wasn't, when he won the world title, people didn't really know who he was. To be honest with you, I only ever seen Norman really getting, respect and recognition from the people once they found out that he was Devin Haney's competitor. As soon as he lost to Devin Haney, it seemed like everybody done forgot about Brian Norman. Like a lot of people wasn't even paying attention to his comeback fight with the dude Wagner. People wasn't even paying that shit any mind. They thought he was going to be the one to dethrone Devin Haney because they listening to his daddy and shit like that. So they was hyping him up. Oh, Norman this, Norman that. Then Devin Haney go ahead and outclass Brian Norman. Then, Brian Norman was a bum. I'm saying that's what people say. That's what people say. You know what I mean? We Fight All Night TV said hashtag Zuffa era. Damn. Y'all back in Zuffa play. That's a good little line. I mean, that's a good fight. Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn is a good fight. You know what I'm saying? If they could go ahead and lock in, Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson, then Zuffa definitely got the ball rolling. And they're gonna end 2026 pretty strong. You know what I'm saying? But ain't really much to say outside of that, man. Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn, September 12th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. I mean, we definitely got a lot of time until then, but it's good to know that we got a solid championship level fight at welterweight right now. So salute to them for that. And may the best PED user win. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, man. Zaz says Zuffa saving boxing low key. I think y'all gassing it a little bit, man. Like big fights have been happening outside of Zuffa. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. Like I like the optimism though. Like but respectfully, they just signed their first big name. So it's like they got a lot of work to do before we start acting like Zuffa is the fucking boxing savior or whatever the case is. This. I mean, definitely. Let them earn their stripes, man. Let them earn their stripes before because we in an era now where we just give people stripes without earning them. I say it all the time. Let these motherfuckers earn their stripes, man. Anonymous said boxing ain't in a bad state right now. It really ain't. It really ain't. This nigga Lorenzo crazy. He said their PED blood gonna be burning holes in the ring on some Alien vs Predator shit. That's hilarious. Yeah, Tricks, and that's another thing. Like, it ain't only Zuffa that's putting this fight together. Golden Boy's involved, the Zone's involved. It's multiple networks and promoters that's responsible for making that fight happen in itself. It's not like they're both Zuffa fighters and they're just no, bro, not at all. But anyways, man, let's get into this Earl Spence situation, this Earl Spence topic, man, because I feel like this is something that needs to be spoken about, and I can't help but be concerned for the big fish, man. So let's go ahead and speak about this. This is an article that I was able to pull up on talksport.com. And if you guys haven't been really tuned in on this fight, then I'm going to go ahead and read this to y'all. So let me go ahead and share the screen for the people to see. And like I said, this is on talksport.com. Shout out to Ben Davies for putting this article together. And it says the following. Errol Spence has managed to add 2 pounds to the catch weight for his fight with Tim Tszyu at just 1 week's notice. Spence will so for those of y'all who don't know, man, this fight was with Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence was supposed to take place at a catch weight of 158 pounds. Initially, when I heard the reports, I wasn't really tripping about it because, for one, this fight isn't for a belt, and two, Errol Spence is coming off of a 3-year layoff, man. So understanding that, I felt like Errol Spence had the right to do so. He doesn't know whether he's going to campaign at 154 to 160 pounds. I've heard him say in the past that he'll be returning at 100 between 154 and 160. So when I heard 158, I'm like, all right, well, pretty much right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So leaning more towards middleweight, but regardless, is right in between 154 and 160. So I wasn't surprised. But everything was all good until the week of the fight, and all of a sudden, Errol Spence and his team is pretty much requesting, and I see they granted their request to make the fight a full middleweight, make it the full middleweight limit, which is 160 pounds. Let's move on. It says Spence will return for the first time in 3 years against Aussie home favorite Tszyu down under in Sydney on July 26. The American has now finally left to make the long journey to foreign soil, which, from what I saw, he already had touched down in Australia, where he is hoping to make a big statement in his long-awaited latest bout. However, there has already been some late drama surrounding the clash, with tensions rising between the two fighters in their camps. And now things have become even more intense, with Spence making a request just 11 days out to change the catch weight from 158 to 160. It is clear the American is heavier than expected and is still hoping to make weight to ensure the fight will take place. Now, this last comment right here is an assumption, but it's pretty much an educated assumption. And that is, Errol Spence may have most likely been a little heavier than he anticipated the week before the fight or 2 weeks before the fight. And I think that Errol Spence is doing something, like I said in the video I put out earlier, he's doing something that he didn't do in the past. And that's listen to his body, right? I think Errol Spence wants to be comfortable. I don't think he wants to go through the motions of, putting in all this extra work to try to get this weight off. Errol Spence has spoken about in the past jogging in sauna suits, training in sauna suits, sparring in sauna suits, and pretty much starving himself, not having a nutritionist and stuff like that. And when I'm listening to his interviews with like Andre Ward and stuff like that, he's talking about, moving smarter, training smarter, and, knowing how to hydrate yourself properly, and, just bringing more of a scientific approach to the game in comparison to just training hard, burning out your body, and then, underperforming. I think Errol Spence learned a whole lot from his previous fights, especially the Terrence Crawford one, and I think he's moving more strategically now. So maybe Errol Spence is like, you know what? I think that I will feel better with these additional 2 pounds on, because every pound matters. When you cutting down the weight, every pound matters. So maybe he's like, man, let's just go ahead and try to get this up to 160 pounds. That way, I could prioritize a little bit more rest. I won't be I won't be, as burnt out, if I'm burnt out at all, and I can perform to the best of my ability. Maybe that's how the way he sees it. But one thing's for sure, that weight probably ain't coming off as well as he thought it would. And listen, when you're coming off of a fucking 3-year layoff, and all of a sudden, and you just been not sitting on the couch, but not cutting weight and, keeping this, extra weight on, it's a process to get your body back in the swing of things in terms of cutting weight. I haven't been active in boxing in 7 years, right? And at that time, 7 years ago, it was, it was like clockwork for my body to be at a certain weight, then cut down to a certain weight. But, you know, with 7 years going by, if I was to just try to jump back in the mix of things, my body's gonna have a little bit of trouble responding to the weight cut because I haven't done it in so long. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, Errol Spence is a little bit up there in age as well. How old is Errol Spence? Like 35, 36 years old? Let me check his weight. I mean, his age real quick. Errol Spence is 36 years old. He just turned 36 in March. So when you're in those mid 30s, those late 30s, your body ain't cutting weight like it used to anyway. So when you're coming off of a 3-year layoff and you're in your mid 30s and your body's not really so quick to lose weight like it did in your younger years, these type of troubles can happen. So I'm not necessarily surprised at all, but like I said, I am concerned. It just seems like more and more red flags are just popping up as the fight gets closer, and we're not really hearing any type of mishaps with Tim Tszyu's camp. So Errol Spence ain't showing the best signs right now. Let me see. Let's move on. Let's see what else is being said here. Surprisingly, the request has been approved at short notice, and the former welterweight champion will have a bigger buffer to tip the scales. A spokesperson from No Limit Boxing confirmed to Fox that the change has been made official after a last-minute emergency meeting was called. Tszyu had originally wanted the bout to be a super welterweight limit at 154 when negotiating the event, but now it is unclear if the change can benefit Spence. Will both set the weigh in at a career heaviest on the night. Okay, I don't think nothing else is really written outside of that. Let me see. So Tszyu responds to the last-minute weight change. Let me see what he says. He's not really worried about the couple pounds. It doesn't worry him. He's trying to convince himself he has a competitive edge. He's trying to make himself feel better. That's what Tim Tszyu's take is on the whole situation. But let me see. So if I'm Tim Tszyu, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little frustrated with the situation because, I've been active, I've been in the game, I've had my ups and downs, but regardless, you know what I mean? I finally get this opportunity to face a name at Errol Spence Jr. Tim Tszyu was trying to chase the Jermell Charlo fight. He wasn't able to get it. He ended up fighting Fundora in the Backrooms. We all know what happened with that. But he finally has a big name in front of him, that he could face. And, from the very beginning, Tim Tszyu, had preferred to make the fight at 154 pounds, which makes sense because that is the weight that he campaigns at. And it's a weight that we all would have thought Errol Spence would have been willing to return to. However, Errol Spence put in a demand that he wants the fight to be at 158 pounds. So now you gotta get your body accustomed to being 4 pounds heavier than what it is, to what it usually is. Tim Tszyu said that it isn't a concern, but like I said, at the end of the day, 4 extra pounds does make a difference for you and your opponent. It could affect you negatively. It could affect you positively. You won't really know until you perform. But now, as the fight's getting closer, now all of a sudden he wants us to be a full middleweight contest. So now I gave you an additional 4 pounds. Now you want to put on an additional 2 and have me campaigning at a weight class that I've never competed at. So where is this coming from? You know what I'm saying? Al DePel said there's so many boxing channels on right now. For real? A lot of people live right now. Let me see. Let me see something. Who live right now? I don't really see nobody live. But I'm not really subscribed to that many people anyway, so. Yeah, I don't really be knowing these niggas, bro, so. It is what it is. Salute, though. Salute. He said Tszyu weighing in at 154. I'm already knowing. No, the hell he not. Ain't no way. Ain't no way Errol Spence going to be 160 and he going to weigh in 154. That'd be the dumbest shit in the world. If he gave up 6 pounds the day of the weigh-in and just made 154 just because, that would be the dumbest shit in the world. I hope he don't do nothing like that. he better come in at the fucking weight that they agreed to, that they approved, 160 pounds. Come in 159 or whatever the case is. You won't have to if let's say Tim Tszyu, rehydrates to 168, 170. All right, you know what I mean? You could, if you're already low on weight, you could hydrate a little bit. You know what I mean? Get yourself up to 159 or whatever the case is, and then you weigh in, do what the fuck you got to do, and then you could just, eat less than what you would cut. Just eat a good amount. Make sure you're not putting on too much weight where you'll be sluggish the night of the fight and shit like that. But he know what to do. He know what to do. He'll pay attention to his body. He'll know exactly what to do. But let's say his his rehydration limit is 170. I mean, just do what you got to do to put on them additional 10 pounds and just keep it moving. Zoo gonna probably be like 157. Yeah, his weight probably already low, to be honest. Well, they're fighting when? They're fighting what's the date? They fighting I was just reading it. July 26th, right? Yeah, so he got 11 days. So his weight probably isn't even low anyway. He's probably like in the 170 area, 168. So he probably got like 8 pounds to lose in 11 days. That's not bad at all. You know what I mean? Zah said Earl probably 160 right now and feels great. That's probably what it is. He probably 160 right now. That's actually a good that's a good point, Zah, because you could be on the money about this. He probably 160 right now, because when you look at Earl, he don't look heavy. He ain't been looking heavy ever since he decided to lock the fuck in. Errol probably 160 right now. He love how the way he feel at that weight. So he like, you know what? Let's just fight right here. What I gotta lose? What I gotta fight? What I gotta get down to 158 for? I feel good right here. Well, let's just do it like that. That could be possible. That could be possible. But I think at the same time, it is safe to assume that them pounds a little bit difficult to get off. You know what I'm saying? Could be, that's what I think. But Earl don't look heavy. That's the crazy part. He ain't got no fat on him. You know what I mean? He don't even look like he got really much muscle on him. It looked like he just looks slim. So I don't know, man. We'll see. But all in all, man, with this article putting out this information, and I spoke about it on the live. I mean, I spoke about it in the video I put out earlier today. I can't help but be, a little bit concerned. Not a little bit, very concerned with Errol Spence and how the way he's moving. We all know that, those of us who have competed or just been a part of the sport or have been studying the sport for a long time, everybody and their mom will tell you that a lot of this boxing shit is mental. It's how the way you carry it mentally. If you're not locked in mentally, you're not going to perform to the best of your ability. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of physical and mental strength, you know what I mean, to get through this sport, but more mental than anything. Both got to be in line in order for you to perform to the best of your ability. If you're lacking in one section, it's going to show in the ring. And I think Errol Spence, he's working out, he's in shape, he's doing what he needs to do, he's training. But from a mental aspect, it's just so many underlying concerns with me, man. Like, I like that. I pay attention for certain things when I'm hearing these interviews, and I'm hearing a lot of people ask, "Why are you coming back? You haven't been in the ring. Why are you coming back?" All right, you know what I mean? Like a hungry answer would be, "Man, I just, I just really love the game. I still feel like I can compete at a high level. This time away just made me even more motivated, and I hear a lot of people doubting me, and I just want to shut everybody up and let them know that I'm here and I'm back to take over the game, blah, blah, blah." That type of response, I'd have been like, okay, all right. But you know what Earl Spence is saying? Because I was bored. So this shit is just like something to do. Like, this is just fun. That's how you look at this shit. And some people, Boo says it all the time, I'm gonna go in there and have fun and all that shit. But there is, a certain level of seriousness that needs to be had in the boxing ring as well, because your life is on the line. You know what I'm saying? He said that he was bored. You know what I'm saying? And even said something along the lines of like, I might just retire after this. So whenever I hear fighters like already talking about retirement while they active fighters, it just lets me know that mentally they're not as locked in as they should be. They're lacking up here. You know what I'm saying? And that's just really concerning to me, man. Like it's just I don't hear enough hunger. I don't really see a chip on Errol Spence's shoulder based off of how the way that he's speaking. Um, it just sounds like he's just so content with being with his family, being at peace, enjoying the fruits of his labor, going on vacation with his peoples, and very much in love with his girlfriend or his wife, whatever, whoever she is, being very much in love with your kids, being invested in what they got going on. And listen, those are beautiful things. Beautiful things. I hope that every man, especially in this chat, I hope every man gets to experience what Earl Spence is experiencing right now. Loving being around family, being an active father, investing into your kids, being financially secure, financial freedom. I hope you experience everything that Earl Spence is experiencing. That's one of the most beautiful things um, that life could offer you. You know what I'm saying? And I hope I get to that point. I hope I get to that point sometime, at some point as well. But when you are in a sport as dangerous as the sport of boxing, where 13 people on average die yearly getting inside them ropes, it needs to be more of a serious reason rather than just I was bored. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not a legit enough reason for me to make me believe that you're back to do some damage in the sport. It looked like you just trying to jump back into some shit just because. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Earl is just, maybe a flip is gonna switch on in that ring where he's just gonna be back to his old self. Who fucking knows? Who knows? Maybe his brain just wired differently. But it don't seem like that competitive edge is there how it used to be. That's just me. He seems very satisfied. He seems to be very much at peace. And we've seen fighters in the past perform horribly when they claim to be at peace. Like I'm not comparing the two skill wise or anything like that. But remember Deontay Wilder? Oh, I'm at peace. I'm at peace. I'm at peace. I'm at peace. And it showed in his demeanor in the ring. Just no killer instinct whatsoever. No punching with authority how he used to. It was just very like timid, very hesitant, very gun shy. And I'm not saying Earl Spencer is going to perform that way. The reality is we don't know how the way he's going to perform until July 26th. But you know what I'm saying? It's not far fetched to be concerned considering uh what he's been showing us in latest interviews. You know what I'm saying? And it almost sounds like, and I could be wrong, it almost sounds like Earl Spence's cool with whatever result is heading his way. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Rolly just said, if I'm meant to win, then I'll win. If I'm meant to lose, then I'm cool with losing. I'm gonna just leave it in God's hands. I don't really like that type of talking, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying that Earl Spence is saying that, but at the same time, Earl is just like he just seems to be so at peace. He seems to be so unbothered by the sport of boxing that it's just like fuck it, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And I don't think that's the right mentality to have when you in there with a hungry, still hungry, unsatisfied fighter in Tim Tszyu that's looking to make a name off of you, bro. One thing about Tim Tszyu, he like to whoop on Americans. He loved beating up. You see how the way he punched on Tony Harrison? He loved that shit. You see how the way he punched on Brian Mendoza? He loved that shit. See how the way he beat up on Joey Spencer? He loved that shit. He loved bringing motherfuckers over to Australia and whooping their ass. So, Earl Spence has acknowledged that he don't think it's going to be an easy fight. But he is going around saying that the fight's gonna last as long as it lasts, and he said that he gonna do Tim Tszyu so bad and all this crazy shit, and that sound good. That's more the mentality that I want to hear from Errol Spence. But more times than not, it's what I mean, it's like a carefree approach, and I don't really, I can't really fuck with that, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Very concerning. I hope this nigga giving us the okie doke. Real shit. He said what? A carefree mentality is a deficit in boxing. Yeah, absolutely. Trick said Tim is undefeated in Australia. Yep. He said, yeah, carefree approach is the wrong mentality for most. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. And it's like you can tell he don't really think much of the only thing that seems to really intrigue Earl Spence is fighting in Australia. Like Tim Tszyu don't really seem to intrigue him that much. Other opponents don't really seem to intrigue him that much. And I'm saying, like, he just seemed like he don't care. And that's crazy to me. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I'm not, I was never as experienced as those guys. And what I mean? I ain't never turned professional or nothing like that. So I don't really know how it is. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like that approach right there, bro, that's like playing Russian roulette, bro. Like not caring it's gonna be what it's gonna be. That's literally like to me a recipe for disaster. And I know I ain't tripping because Andre Ward had a super serious approach to the game where he didn't sleep on anybody. He didn't sleep on anybody. He looked at everybody as a threat. And the last thing that he wanted to do was downplay a situation, feel like he had nothing to prove because then he might fuck around and get embarrassed. I'm kind of seeing why Andre Ward had this mentality, but it seemed like Errol Spence has a totally different mindset than Andre Ward. Tszyu versus Bachman was in Florida. Whose idea was it to fight in Australia? According to Errol Spence, it was his. That's what Errol Spence said. Errol Spence said that he wanted to fight Tim Tszyu in Australia. That he could have did it in Texas or whatever the case is, from what I remember. But he said that he wanted to do the fight in Australia because that's what motivates him. He said that when people boo him, that motivates him, and all his nerves go away when people boo him, and it just gets him locked in. And to me, that's what further shows, in my opinion, that Errol Spence is lacking motivation. The fact that he's looking for extra things, like he's trying to add like little things, trying to change the setting up and come into foreign territory and shit like that because he feels like that's what'll get him up. Not just the fact that it's Tim Tszyu, not just the fact that he's coming off of a 3-year layoff and trying to get back in the mix. He needs to add different variables into the mix that get him going. And the whole thing is, bro, those things in itself shouldn't be the main thing that motivates you. You should just be self-motivated. You should just be motivated that you back in the ring, period. But I don't know. Seemed like Errol Spence was like, how can I? Because he probably was so complacent just being on the couch and just living his life He's like, all right, if I do come back to boxing, what'll really motivate me to get back in the ring? Like, what is it that I have to do? But like, how can I get some sort of edge? What edge can be brought to the table that'll make me jump up off this sofa and get back in the mix, fight somebody in their hometown, well, home country. One of his biggest moments of his career was fighting in foreign soil against Kell Brook. Maybe he wants to. Maybe he remembers how motivated he felt off of that situation, and how sharp it made him when he fought Kell Brook in the UK. Maybe he feels like he could replicate the same thing with Tim Tszyu. Jay said, or maybe he didn't want to lose at home. I don't know what Errol Spence thinking, but I'm gonna say, I hope he don't have that mentality. Like, if you going into the fight thinking about losing, you're already in a really bad situation. If you go into a fight already, but Errol Spence said that he basically admitted that he knew that he was going to lose in the Bud fight because he didn't feel like he was prepared. Now, I'm sure he feels prepared with Ronnie Shields, so this may not be the same situation, but he's already went into fights knowing that he was going to be in a fucked up situation. I hope he don't have that similar approach to Tim Tszyu. I really hope he don't. Tim Tszyu going to feel really comfortable over there. He's real familiar with that setting. He's real confident in that setting. So this is a dangerous draw for Spence, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Brian Mendoza pretty much flexing that he was punching on Errol Spence and sparring. Oh, Errol Spence could take a shot, man. He got hit with some shit. He could take a shot. Come on, man. Trick said, if Spence does Tim like he did Kell Brook, is Spence officially back in your opinion? Hell yeah. That was a hell of a performance that he had with Kell, bro. He broke Kell the fuck down. Kell Brook was rumbling, and he was holding his own, was probably even winning some rounds. But, man, the way Errol Spence is just so relentless, just dogged him, just outwilled that motherfucker, man. Didn't stop punching, kept going to the body, and just broke Kell down piece by piece until Kell didn't have anything anymore. And basically, he broke that his other orbital bone and pretty much put him in a position where he quit, to be honest. I know quit be throwing around real heavy nowadays. Everybody quitting nowadays. I don't believe that, but Kell Brook definitely ain't want to rumble no more after that orbital bone broke. My boy Yasser Ali said, what round you think Earl turned up when he fought Brook? Well, I think the nigga was turned up the whole time. He just picked up the intensity a little bit more as the rounds went on. It's like the motherfucker already came out on he already came out 80 miles an hour, let's say, and then like each round he just came out 5 miles faster, until this motherfucker Kell Brook just couldn't keep up. Errol Spence was getting stronger as the rounds went on. See, that's what made Errol Spence so fucking dangerous, man. When this motherfucker was in his prime, and this will make any fighter an absolute headache to deal with. As the rounds go on, they are getting stronger. Because typically fighters start off strong, and then as the fatigue sets in and all of that, the punches don't have as much steam, they break down. They may even get exhausted in there. But Errol Spence was like, this motherfucker already came out guns blazing. And then it's like the fire just continues to build as the rounds go on. And imagine dealing with that and you can't match that energy, and you're only getting more exhausted as this dude is turning up. That's a nightmare to deal with. That's a nightmare to deal with, man. Zai said he gonna put 1K on Spence. You better be okay with not having that 1K though, man. I'm telling you, I don't think I'm pick for my final prediction. I don't think I'm picking Spence, man. As much as I hate to say it, right now, how the way I'm looking at shit, I'm not really liking what I'm seeing from Earl. Yasir Ali said, you think that version of Earl beats Bud in your opinion? No. During that current time, I was picking Errol Spence to win. I thought he was gonna outwork Bud. I really thought he was gonna outwork Bud, but there was some things about Bud that I had really underestimated. I thought that Errol Spence was gonna be a physically stronger person. He wasn't. Because Terrence Crawford had more of a strategic approach and didn't really have to resort to being physical. He could just rely on his smarts. And I seen how brutal and tough and strong Errol Spence was, and I always heard how other fighters said that Earl was just a physically strong dude. I always thought that he would be able to bully Bud, but I was fucking heavily mistaken. This dude Bud was shoving Earl across the ring, and every punch that he hit Earl with had an effect on Earl, and he was just super accurate, sharp. So I think that any version of Errol Spence would have given Bud a lot of opportunities to counter, because Errol Spence leaves a lot of openers, man. He leaves a lot of openers. He don't move his head. I see him working on it now with Ronnie Shields, but he don't really move his head. He relies on his high guard for his defense, and Bud breaks down that high guard like no other, man. He punches it in between, in between the high guard. He punches around the high guard, and man, Bud is just too. He too sharp for Earl, man. You know what I'm saying? He got too much for Earl. He said, "This my last 1K. Gotta take this nigga's a fucking goof. That's your last 1K. Why the fuck are you putting that on Errol Spence? You go take that 1K. You know what I'm saying? And come up with a fucking business idea and go sell something, nigga. I'm saying. Go buy you some motherfucking go buy you them big ass those gallon buckets of water ice and go sell water ice, nigga. It'd be a nice little flip right there. Go buy you a hot dog stand, nigga. Niggas be talking shit about glizzies, but they always eating them. Niggas, oh man, you got a glizzy, nigga. Every time it's a hot dog stand out that motherfucker. Every time I see a hot dog stand in Philly, that bitch got a line. Motherfucker always got a line. But niggas who always talk shit about hot dogs, y'all keep them motherfuckers in business though. For sure. Man, now I'm saying there's a section of Philadelphia called Juniata, right? A bunch of Dominicans, bunch of Puerto Ricans, Hispanic. It used to be a white neighborhood, but now it's like a heavily Hispanic neighborhood. It's Dominicans, a lot of Dominicans, a lot of Puerto Ricans. And in the Juniata section, I seen this motherfucking hot dog stand, right? But it's Puerto Rican hot dogs. Now, I didn't even know Puerto Ricans got crafty with the glizzies like that. Like, I didn't even know that. But these niggas added all different types of toppings and shit. And I'm like, bro, that shit actually look fire. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? What? He said put a down payment on a house with that 1K. Bro, 1K is not a fucking down payment for a house. That shit not even a down payment for an apartment. Unless you're in a fucking studio in the hood or some shit. Nigga, 1K. Yo, if you was to tell a realtor I got 1K for a down payment on a house, I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? They gonna look at you like you retarded. Nigga, like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that. Damn. They gonna look at you like you crazy. He said, finna just say that 1K for some chrome hearts. Yeah, that's how you know this nigga's a fucking you definitely a you definitely a nigga. I'ma just say that. Only dumb niggas do that. Like, you should take that 1K and try to make yourself more money. When I had a few racks saved up, as soon as my son was born, I took that 1K and I put that shit in a high yield savings account for him. My son had a bank account since he was like 2 months old. As soon as I got his social security number, and son's done, bro. He 3 years old. My son gonna be all right. My son gonna be all right. My son gonna have a couple dollars. When I'm here, when I'm gone, he gonna be all right. This nigga said 1K, you mean for a shed? Yeah, nigga, you not even. 1K ain't even going. 1K won't even get you this apartment. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what I put up. What the fuck I forgot what my security deposit was for this bitch. Shit probably was like 4 racks or something. He said finna get a 1K to Mark, let him invest. My shit, nah. You gotta handle that on your own, brother. I'm gonna tell you, give me 1K. I'm gonna show you how to spend that motherfucker. 4K for a security deposit. Was it? It was like 3 months. It's like 3 months rent, right? Security deposit like 3 months rent. So like 3 months worth of rent over here. That shit, yeah, that shit for me like 4K. You have a group home business you run? That's what's up. Yeah, man. If I'd had that bread saved, if I'd have used that money correctly that I had back like 6 years ago, I'd have been had a crib by now. A security deposit. I don't know. I don't know where you from, Justin, but a security deposit over here. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I forgot what my security deposit was, bro. I've been here for 2 years already, going on 3. You got your psychology degree 2 years ago. That's what's up. I actually went to. That was actually what I was going to major in when I went to college. I majored in psychology, and this was like when I was still trying to figure out whether college was for me or not. So I was like, man, I ain't fucking with this psychology shit. It ain't what I thought it was. So then I switched my major to business administration. So then, I was doing the business administration shit, bro. And bro, that shit was cooking me. I think I failed. That was the first time I ever failed a class. I failed accounting, bro. That shit was so, and I was always good at math, bro, but accounting just fried me so bad. I think for real, I think it was the bump, bro. That fucking college had the worst teacher. It was like old niggas who be mumbling and shit, and they just telling you shit. They not really teaching you shit. And then I had like a technology class, and I failed that shit too. I'm like, damn, yo, why am I failing these classes? I never failed classes in high school, none of that shit. I was like, damn, like, why the fuck am I failing classes? I think, like, and I could draw so many different conclusions, but like the one that mainly stood out to me was just like, bro, in college, they don't give a fuck about you like they did in high school. Like in high school, they actually like, converse with you, be personable. I mean, you actually develop relationships with your teachers and shit. Like I got on Facebook, And Instagram, I still follow some of my teachers from high school, my English teacher, Miss Crane, my social studies teacher, Mr. Riley, um, my fifth grade teacher, Mr. Brace. Like it just felt like they actually cared. In college, just like, nigga, you already paid for you. I mean, listen, you already paid for the class. Like you could leave. Like, and they, bro, motherfuckers will walk out mid class. They don't care. I had a when I had a psychology professor by the name of Professor Lockridge. Man, shout out to him. He was a hell of a teacher. It was two teachers that I really, three teachers. It was Miss Faye. She was from the UK. She was a phenomenal teacher. I forgot what she taught, but she was a phenomenal teacher. And I had Professor Lockridge. He was from Oklahoma City, but he taught at Community College of Philadelphia. He was a phenomenal teacher. I wish I still had his contact. And then I had Dr. Love. Now I don't know what's up with Dr. Love, man. I was following him on Instagram and shit like that. But like he disappeared. Then I found his gram again. I followed him. Then he disappeared again. So I don't be knowing what's going on. His name is Dr. Aaron Love. He was a black. He teach Black history. He taught Black history at CCP. Phenomenal teacher. So like I was cool with them, but like the other teachers, man, they were just like I literally had I had a teacher. And this was like in the technology building of CCP. Bro, the nigga literally like had some type of like Alzheimer's or like dementia. He had one of them Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like he had one of them Jones. Bro, the nigga literally would not show up to class. Like he will forget to turn up in class and we'll always end up leave early. Then like he wouldn't teach us for like a whole 2 weeks. Like, yo, they reporting him to CCP and CCP not doing shit about it. Then the one day he actually showed up for a final and the nigga left the whole Scantron on the desk. With the answer key for the Scantron. Bro, why was I really Kobe in the fucking clutch, bro? I went ahead and I took a picture of the Scantron and I airdropped it to everybody in the fucking room. Bro, this nigga ain't teach us the whole fucking semester, bro. Then we gotta take a final when nobody ever taught us in the first place. As soon as I walk in, I see on his desk Scantron with all the answers. I was like, oh yeah. Right before he walked in, boom, boom, boom. And I had a homie at the time, some female John from New York. She was like, "Did you just take a picture? Yeah. You want it? You so great. Do you want it? Yes or no?" Boom. So she started telling other people, "Oh, can I get that?" And bro, I'm sending that shit to everybody. Boom, 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 boom. Bro, everybody in that bitch. Everybody in that bitch passed. Yo, but then I peeped that the following semester he wasn't there no more. So I think they let him go. But yeah, bro, college professors, you know, well, my experience with CCP, and plus I was really a loner, bro. Like I didn't really socialize with anybody. And then CCP, it's not like they got dorms over there. It's not like a university where like a bunch of people socialize and all that. Like a lot of people commuting, like they going to class and they going home type shit. So I didn't really make any friends. My one homie Steve Hahn was there, but we was in different classes, so we'll link up sometimes and all that. But I really ain't had no friends in that school. Did I graduate? No. This nigga said I had motion with the hoes. Nigga, no, I did not. Well, and that was 2016. So that was like 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Like, man, I used to be out here. I used to be out here tripping, but no, like during college, I definitely wasn't getting no college bitches. Definitely wasn't. I didn't graduate college though. I dropped out. I ain't never go back. When my dad told me he was opening the gym, I was like, bet. I was not worried about that shit. And they say to never take a break. And I took a break and I never went back. Bro, I was just hustling, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had my own car. I was doing like food deliveries and you know what I mean? I was training. I was doing food deliveries. I had a couple under the table jobs allegedly around the city. You know what I mean? That's how I was making my bread. I was living with my mom and shit. I mean, living my life, doing what I was doing. But once my pop was like, "Oh yeah, we gonna open this gym." This was like 2019. I was like, "Bet that's what we gonna do. We going all in with this shit." And that's what we did. You dropped out of high school? No, my mom would have never let me do that. What do you do from work now, Mark, besides training? I don't really want to get into that because people weird. You know what I mean? They be trolls and all that. So I'm gonna keep that to myself. But I do have a job outside of boxing and shit like that. For those of y'all who know me, y'all probably already know what I do. But yeah, I ain't gonna really say too much because niggas be weird on the internet. Niggas said I put an apple on the teacher desk. If I was to put an apple, all I know is if I put that probably be the only shit that slime would give to somebody because that shit healthy. You fat bitch. That probably be the only food you give up. Is it a desk job? No. Nigga said market stripper. This nigga a faggot. Damn, I shouldn't have said that neither. God damn. Uh, but yeah, man. But I am gonna have a career change very soon. So I don't really give a fuck to be honest. I'm not I'm not really into that shit no more. I've been in this career field for like what like since I found out my son was on the way, so more than 3 years. More than 3 years. Once I found out my son was on the way, I took this career path and it was cool and all that, man. But man, in a perfect world, bro, I would really just like to devote all my time to boxing. I wish I could just do that. But you gotta realize, man, it's like for you to really thrive in this industry, you gotta be a dick eater. Mark is a hedge fund manager making seven-figure salary. I wish. They ain't even making nowhere near that. You a hygiene technician? That's what's up. Got tired of working in Medicare. Yeah, bro. It's like you just landed a new job today, Jay. That's what's up. Ain't it's Jay Cash's birthday today. Happy birthday to Jay Cash, man. Yes, sir. Everybody in the chat, go ahead and wish Jay Cash a happy birthday. I damn near forgot about that, brother. I made sure I said my happy birthday. Happy birthday to Jay Cash, man. That's a good brother right there, man. My boy flew out all the way from Arizona to fuck with us, bro, and watch some boxing. You gotta appreciate the brother, man. That's a good guy right there. Yes, sir. Happy birthday to the brother Jay Cash. Absolutely. That's a good dude right there. He said this stream gonna get clipped. Bro, I done had streams where I said way worse than that. So, you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. I seen Tesla hiring niggas crazy in Philly. They got some shit going on in Philly and they hiring hella people. And I heard they paying crazy money too. So I don't know. I'm gonna take a look at that. But I'm trying to be on some, working on my own time type shit. So I'm gonna figure something out. I might get back to my driving shit. You know what I'm saying? I might get back on my driving shit. The only thing that be really stopping me from doing certain shit is my son though. My boy Tricks in the building said, Mark, thoughts on Andy Cruz fighting at 130. I think that should have been his move from the very beginning. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do think the Raymond Mortatalia fight was a wake up call for Andy Cruz because until that fight, he's pretty much beating people with ease with his skill set. You know what I mean, with his athleticism and his pedigree. To be honest with you, he's been getting the best of these guys. But with Raymond Mortatalia, who was at a championship level and was built properly, and actually had a significant size advantage over Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz definitely held his own. It was a tough, competitive, close fight. To be honest with you. Um, I think he realized that size, Raymond Mordecai's size in comparison to his pause is what ultimately played a big part. I think, that pressure, the volume, and the combination punching, and just what he was just it just seemed like he overwhelmed Andy Cruz a lot during the fight. And I think he felt that size difference. So I think he feels like, all right, man, like I'm not trying to be at a major disadvantage. I don't think he's trying to be at a major disadvantage at 135 pounds because these dudes are significantly bigger than him. And I've seen Andy Cruz in person. Like he one of them type dudes that's like real heavy up top, but just a small dude overall. He's probably about like 5'6", 5'7", maybe. He got like big shoulders, big arms, but like he don't really got like a huge, torso or anything like that. He don't got big legs. You know what I'm saying? Like he could easily be a 130 pounder and hold his own in the in them division. I actually think he would be more dangerous at 130 pounds. Uh, so I think 130 is a good move, but I don't understand why he would take a fight. I don't know why he would take like an IBF title eliminator at 135 and then go down to 130. Like, what's the purpose of doing the IBF title eliminator? Unless they completely scrapped that since Albert Bell got pulled out and he fought Abdullah. I don't understand what's the point of even taking this fight at 135 if your next fight is going to be at 130. Maybe it's because, you're just trying to stay active, whatever the case is. But yeah, I think 130 for Andy Cruz is a good weight for him. I really do. And it sucks that it took a loss against a significantly bigger guy for him to realize that. You know what I mean? Maybe Andy Cruz would still be an undefeated fighter if, he went down to 130 before that fight. But, it is what it is. Shit happens. And that's how God wrote his story. So we're going to see how Andy Cruz bounced back from all of this. Ray Ford versus Cruz. Make that. I got Andy Cruz. Y'all think Raymond Ford beats Andy Cruz? I don't think so. I really don't think so. What y'all think? That's actually a good fucking fight. My thing is with Ray though, it's like Ray's fast, he's sharp. You could tell, he got some decent power and shit like that. Definitely got dog in him. But I feel like after a while, I think like once you get in his head, it's like he goes into like a autopilot. I don't know what it is like with Oshaki. He started off well with Oshaki. He even had some good rounds. Scattered out throughout the fight. But like, I feel like once Oshaki made the adjustment, Raymond Ford mind just went on autopilot. Like it's almost like it ran to its full capacity and he was just stuck doing the same shit over and over and over again. And even after receiving instructions from his corner and Shakur and all of them, he just couldn't seem to turn it up another gear. So I don't know if it's Raymond Ford having this, because a lot of fighters don't really have the ability to adjust. Like there's fighters who, may have, A, B, and C as an approach. And then when those get neutralized, there's nothing else for them to fall back on. Some guys only got one approach. And if it don't work, they assed out. You know what I'm saying? So I think Raymond Ford probably had like two to three approaches in his bag. And once Oshaki started the overwhelming with volume and combinations and angles and shit like that, I felt like Ray didn't really have a response. And Andy Cruz brings that same type of style in terms of the foot speed, the overall the foot movement, the foot speed, the athleticism, the fast hands, the sharp counters. Because we had the pleasure of working with Andy Cruz. And Andy Cruz is a very intelligent fighter. He's not really aggressive. He's not like a pressure fighter or anything like that. But he's a smooth, rhythmic fighter who is very intelligent. He sees openings and he takes advantage of the openings and sound defense. And Andy Cruz is a good fighter, man. I think he's definitely going to be world champion. Based off of what I've seen in person. But I think he beats Raymond Ford. That's what I think. Andy Cruz, a Philly fighter at this point. I mean, he started his career here. He started with Bowsy from the very beginning, and a lot of people was shitting on Bowsy after Raymond lost the Mortaya and all that, and I mean, niggas just be looking for shit to talk about. These niggas just be talking because it's free to do. But once Bowsy make him a world champion at 130 pounds, we gonna see what these motherfuckers gotta say. Ain't gonna be no apologies. Thoughts on Yo-Yo? Where's his ceiling? Yo-Yo's a fucking beast. First of all, he's a fucking animal at middleweight, and hopefully he gets an opportunity soon to either fight somebody notable or possibly fight for a world title, man. That's what I would like to see him do because I mean I think that he should be. I think he should be further ahead than what he is, but I just think that as of right now, 160 is like it's not like a terrible division, but it's pretty bland, man. Like how can you say this? Like dull, a very dull division right now. Andy versus Foster would be a crazy chess match. Hell yeah, that'd be the type of fight I would enjoy seeing. That shit would be film study for days, bro. Oh my god, bro. There's fights that I've like studied for like 3 days straight because it just has so much fucking game in it. Shock versus Andy, niggas could study for days off them Jones, bro. They're gonna make Kasase versus Cruz for the WBA. Gotta do a little bit of research on Kasase. Ray fight like he be doing 15 rounds of pad work like Errol. Nah, I think what really hurt, and this ain't me talking shit, because I even heard, because I said this in the very beginning. I said this during the press conferences and all that shit. And even Shock mentioned it, like, bro, Raymond Ford's corner was not ready for that type of fight, man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he's just, like Shakur Stevenson's cousin. This nigga ain't never boxed before. The nigga used to be a strength and conditioning coach. And now all of a sudden, this nigga's a boxing coach for a former world champion, about to fight for a world title. He ain't had the experience for that. Like, I'm just confused. Why isn't Wally Moses, who's more than qualified for the job, why isn't he training Raymond for the fight of his life? Why the fuck is Shakur Stevens' cousin, who don't know shit about boxing, why the fuck is he leading the corner against Raymond Ford? Ain't have no instructions whatsoever to get Raymond Ford through all of that. Even if he did, I don't think Raymond Ford would have been able to make the adjustments. But still, like, I think Raymond Ford did himself a disservice by making dude his head coach. The fuck that dude gonna show you? What is he gonna do for you? What is he gonna teach you that you don't know already? Like, nigga, if you started off as a strength and conditioning coach, you're not a boxing coach, bro. I'm not saying you have to be a pro fighter or even have fights to be a great coach. At the end of the day, there's some of the greatest coaches of all time never threw a punch. You feel me? But like, come on, bro. Motherfuckers gotta be qualified for the job. And the fact that you just got this nigga leading your corner because he's Shakur cousin is crazy. Nobody could tell me any different. Ray could never sit here and be like, oh, even if he was a Shakur cousin, I hire him. Bullshit. He said Ray Ford had no choice. He works for Shakur. That's crazy. Is Raymond Ford managed by Jay Prince? This nigga not even managed by Jay Prince. I'm thinking like, all right, he managed by Jay Prince. They probably got him in, they just moved him out to Houston. They taking care of him. No, this nigga over there off the strength of Shakur. Nigga, we'll turn into a Shakur Stevenson sparring partner. You know what I mean? Because next thing you know, you're going to be helping Zaquin Moses get ready for a world title shot. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be a sparring partner. Nigga really lined you for that Oshaki fight. He had your head all gassed up for that Oshaki fight. You gonna beat him, bro. You gonna beat him. Just train with me. You gonna beat him. Nigga threw you in the fire. You got burnt up, and now this nigga not even trying to get no get back for you. Crazy. That nigga Shakur said, you beat my little bro Ray. I'll fight you. This nigga Ray came back all lumped up. Talking about, man, nah, man, I ain't fighting you. Damn. What about Navarrete versus Shock? Thoughts? That's a great fucking fight, man. That's a great fight. You got Navarrete, who is very fucking awkward. Gonna be very hard to. Whoever is getting ready for Navarrete, bro, I think he the type fighter that you're not gonna find anybody that's gonna be able to emulate him. You're not gonna find anybody with his size, his reach, his awkwardness, his unorthodox combinations, his power, his pressure, his conditioning. You're not gonna find anybody who's able to emulate Navarrete. So my advice would be just focus on you being the sharpest version of yourself, bro. Because you're not gonna find anybody that's gonna emulate this dude's style. I've never seen anybody fight like Emmanuel Navarrete and be successful. So Navarrete got good. He got good body shots. He looked phenomenal against Sugar Nunez, man. The combinations, the conditioning. Look like he actually got a strength and conditioning coach now, which is crazy that he came that far in his career without having, like a strength coach. So, that may turn Navarrete into a different monster. He got power, he got good body shots, and I ain't gonna lie, like I think Shock is gonna have to box this nigga ears off in order to be successful. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think because Shock got a little. He got some dog in him. He got some dog in him, and he like to rumble. You know what I mean? He don't really run away from fights. When a rumble break out, you don't ever really see Shock fold, and you see that nigga walking into the smoke. And I don't think that's anything that Shock should be doing against somebody against like Emmanuel Navarrete. I think he has a size advantage against Shock. Shock is a small dude. You know what I mean? Like, the Mr. Versace boy is dicky and talk about, man, you look like you. Man, you a big 130, man. No, Shock is not a big 130 at all. At all. So Navarrete is a big 130, though. He's a big 130. So, yeah, Foster going to have to, he going to have to box, man. I can't really see him getting into a shootout with Navarrete and being successful. I really don't. Navarrete, durable. He got punching power. He has superb conditioning. Combinations. I'm telling you, he gonna have to box. And now I think he should refrain from engaging with Navarrete. I think he needs to play it real smart. I think he needs to play it safe. I think he needs to be very calculated. Bro, Navarrete is a fucking problem. I'm telling you. Very, very ugly style. You know what I mean? Very ugly style. When he be leading with that dumbass lead uppercut and all that shit, this nigga drop and bring the fucking lead uppercut right up the middle. But for some reason, people can't time it. People don't see it. And they just, because it's something they never seen before, they don't know how to prepare for it. And I've seen this nigga put multiple people on the canvas with that shot. How the fuck are you able to land that shot? And you shooting it all out of range and still find a way to hit your opponent. Like, this dude, Navarrete, is such a ugly ass style, but goddamn, that motherfucker know how to win. He be throwing them uppercuts from across the border. Facts. I be wondering how the fuck them shots landed. I remember when he fought the boy Ruben Villa. Was it Ruben Villa? He threw this ugly ass uppercut from fucking 3 miles out. And I don't know how, like, Ruben really, like, he shelled, like, he froze up. He froze. That shit hit him right on the chin. He went right down. I'm like, what? How the fuck you even let him land that shit? All you had to do was take a step back. You'd have been reaching. But it's just the art of being unpredictable that just seems to work in Navarrete's favor. I don't know, man. Like this shit is crazy. Charlie Suarez needs his no, that's a fact. I'm surprised Navarrete ain't been trying to run that shit back with Suarez. But I ain't gonna lie, and this may be fucked up. This may be unfair. I would rather see him fight O'Shaquie than Charlie Suarez. Even though Charlie Suarez does deserve that rematch, that cut came from a punch. And to be honest with you, Navarrete should have walked away with a TKO loss after that fight. They said Nav has a nutritionist now. Yeah, I heard he got a strength and conditioning coach too. I don't know if they both the same person, but it seemed like, he turned the shit up. Maybe he understands in this crunch time, man, that he gotta take shit serious. So that's good to know, because some motherfuckers don't be trying to fix shit until it's too late. Charlie gonna be on Pro Box this Saturday. Shout out to Charlie Suarez. I hope he get a victory and put that pressure on Navarrete to rumble him again, because he definitely deserved that opportunity. And he was giving Navarrete gas. So he definitely deserved it. But I'm wishing him the best of luck on Pro Box this Saturday for sure. My boy Ralph in the building said if Foster win, this a good ass 3-fight stretch. Fulton, Ray, and potentially Navarrete. That's what I'm saying. Fulton, 2-division world champion. Great win. Raymond Ford, former world champion, top contender at 130. A good win. Then you beat, what's Navarrete, a 3-division champion? He got belts at 22, 26, and 30. And now a unified champion at 130. Can't beat that, man. I think Navarrete got 2 belts, right? He got that belt off. Then he won a belt off Charlie Suarez or no? Yeah. Navarrete done accomplished some things, man. He's stopping a lot of the niggas he fighting too. Beat the shit out of Sugar Nunez, man. Man, I'll never forget how the way he bodied Oscar Valdez, though, man. He beat the shit out of Oscar Valdez. That fucking body shot that took Oscar Valdez out the game. Bro, that shit was so ugly, bro. He folded Valdez. Mind you, not Valdez done been through some shit. That nigga done been bloodied up, knocked down, broken jaw, and he fought through all that shit. Navarrete beat that nigga into submission. God damn. I was so glad he packed that motherfucking drug cheat. Oh, man. I saw their name in the street after Ennis. Are you going? I seen their name in the street after Bozy. First of all, that's a beautiful thing, man, and that's well deserved because Bozy is a fucking legend, bro. I don't know if I'll be going, to be honest with you. I don't really see. It's not that I don't see why I should go, but I don't think I'll be available to go. Like I may be busy for that, but I don't know the date. I don't really know anything about that. Let me see. Yeah, I don't even see that. I don't see a date or anything. I don't even see. Let me see. Let me look. I don't see it. It's on the 25th. Yeah, I don't see anything. Oh man, I'm tired than a bitch, boy. Let me look it up one more time. Somebody check Knives hand wraps. I'm sure they'll do that. You know, if he end up fighting Oshaki, you know, Oshaki team, they experience, they're gonna know what they're gonna know what to look for. Herbal tea, yeah, get him the fuck up out of here. Man, he did Valdez dirty. Navarrete really be whooping ass though. Like if you don't know what you doing in there, Navarrete gonna fuck you up, bro. Navarrete really be fuck. Man, I remember this nigga beat the shit out of. I'm so mad he lost to Dennis Berinchyk. I feel like he could really beat that nigga. I don't know. He probably wasn't prepared for real. I don't think he really trained hard for that fight. I don't know what's up with him, but he beat the shit out Sugar Nunez. Whooped his ass. Whooped Oscar Valdez ass. He beat the shit out of that Liam Wilson nigga. I remember that. I remember he beat the shit out of Pitufo, Ruben Villa. What was that one nigga name? Neho. Bro, that nigga beat the shit out of him. What was that nigga? Neho. He used to be screaming that shit. He was a world champion. Man, he whooped on. His name was like Dog Bay or some shit like that. Isaac Dog Bay. Nigga always used to be screaming, Neho. Man, that nigga whooped his ass. And I think Isaac Dogbay, he won his first world title. He won a world title in Philly. That Ghanaian nigga. He beat Jesse Magdaleno. He stopped Jesse Magdaleno in Philly. I remember that shit. And I think that was the same day that fuck. It was a bunch of people fighting that day. But I mean I think like Shakur fought on the card. It was a while back. But man, he whooped Isaac Dogbay ass. And Isaac Dogbay was undefeated too. I remember that. They was gassing Dogbay and Navarrete whooped him on some Margarito shit. Sam Noakes was fighting Berinchyk this month. I thought Sam Noakes was rumbling Berinchyk in August. Yeah, Navarrete destroyed Dogbay twice. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I'm trying to tell you, Navarrete, if you don't know what you're doing, bro. Yeah, Navarrete gonna whoop that ass. You gotta be careful with a nigga like Navarrete. The moment you start feeling like you could bang with the nigga, you start getting comfortable, shit gonna get dark. Hell no. The fuck? This block always got some weird shit going on. Ooh, almost bust my ass. That would have been a bad jump. Trick said, I want to see Rafael Espinoza versus Navarrete. Imagine how that would look. Bringing umbrella is going to put. Oh, that's going to be a war. Man, that'd be. I'm surprised like a nigga like Turkey ain't trying to make that fight happen. Like, Turkey be claiming that he this boxing fan and he want to make all these big fights. Turkey that type nigga, he only want to make big fights with like popular niggas. Like, man, you give me Turkey budget, bro. I swear to God. I sit down with some niggas from the nation. We get a big ass dry erase board. Nigga, we gonna make this. Man, I would have the boxing world on fire. Give me turkey motherfucking bread and let me be the matchmaker in this boxing shit. Man, it wouldn't be safe for none of these niggas. I'm gonna keep it real. Zuffa versus Turkey just get names already established. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, to be real, Navarrete and Espinoza are established. They world champions. It's just like niggas who famous or like niggas who, you know, everybody be talking about. Like, nah, like I got some shit. Nigga, you give me Turkey budget. Like, if you was to give me Turkey Al-Sheikh money and you let me take over the matchmaking of this boxing shit, I swear to God, boxing to be the most popular sport in the world. Fuck on me. I swear to God. From heavyweight all the way down to 105, niggas ain't safe. We about to see if you niggas, all that shit y'all niggas talking like Hitchens, all these niggas still running his mouth. We gonna see how real you is, nigga. And if you don't want to fight, sit your dumb ass on the shelf, nigga, while everybody else make money. Heavyweight, AJ Fury fighting off rip. Fuck all this tune-up shit, nigga. Fuck Pringa, nigga. Get him the fuck up out of here and fuck who Tyson Fury fighting? He fighting he fighting a nigga we don't give a fuck about neither. Scrap both of them fights. Fight each other now. Fight each other now. Fuck is you talking about? I'd have made Usyk ass fight. I'd have made that nigga fight this nigga off rip. The boy from Turkey, man. Why am I forgetting his name? That's how you know I'm tired. Kabiel. He said I'm making Moses versus Kabiel up top. Now I'd have made Usyk versus Kabiel up top. Andy Ruiz versus Wilder, winner go home. But get your bitch ass out of retirement and fight Boots. Or just stay retired and stop mentioning niggas' name. For real, for real. Oh, ain't no money gonna make me come back. All right, well, shut up, nigga. Be a commentator. Bethaniel says AJ versus Tyson at Wembley. I heard they having an issue. Making the fight in the UK because they want to do it at a later time. And the UK not really with that shit. Name your top 5 fights you making off rip. We doing. I'm doing Tank versus Shakur off rip. Benavidez, Bivol. Kabiel versus Usyk. I'll probably do Boots versus Fundora, or Boots versus Fundora. I will make Haney versus Ryan too. I want Keyshawn to fight somebody, man. I really do. All that shit he be talking, I want that nigga to fight like a Hitchens, which I think he could beat Hitchens. Hitchens or a fucking Brian Norman. I would like to see that. Benavidez versus Better Beef. I'd rather him fight Bivol because Bivol a champion right now. But Bivol acting real funny money out here in these streets. I don't know what's up, man. They said that nigga turned down 40 M's by the IBA to fight Better Beef. He about to fight Callum Smith. So you was willing to give up your belt to not fight David Benavidez, but you're willing to hold on to your belt to avoid Better Beef. Okay. Johnny Beck versus Frank Sanchez. You trying to get this nigga lined. This nigga tripping. Yeah, Johnny Beck ain't getting no opportunities from me. He said, hear me out. Zaybot versus Carmel Moten. Them niggas, I don't even think them niggas in the same weight class. Stop saying that, man. Stop calling that nigga Zaybot, please. That nigga name is Quinn. Zaybop. Nigga dead ass walking around calling himself Zaybop. What? You want to see true school sports guy get smoked? Damn, what the fuck happened with him? He showed me a lot of respect when we was in Brooklyn. You know how some niggas be acting like they too Hollywood to recognize niggas and shit. I mean, that's why I don't even be talking to these niggas, bro. These niggas be weird. Like these media niggas be thinking they superstars, should be killing me. But I was chilling. I was minding my business. That nigga True School Sports was right there. He was like, "Oh, you Mazuma TV?" I'm like, yeah, bro, what's up? And we shook hands and shit like that. We was speaking a little bit as the fights was going on and all that. But yeah, he showed me a lot of respect. Irony Boxing, what up? You making Yo-Yo versus Amari Jones? It's a tough ass fight, bro. You trying to line boots? What you mean? How you trying to line boots? Why you said trying to line boots like man, Virgil not beating boots at all. Who's gonna beat the shit out of Virgil, bro? I'm telling you. That dumbass walk you down with the high guard shit, trying to sit in the pocket and bang, you gonna run into so much shit. Trying to tell you, that shit gonna be bad. Al said, I fuck with few channels that don't fuck with each other, huh? But that's on y'all. Who you speaking about? Who you fuck with that I don't fuck with? Madramal versus Laura at 160. I think Laura need to hang it up, man. Like Laura looked like shit his last fight. He should have took that as a sign, bro. Some niggas don't be catching signs until they get humbled. Laura looked so old his last fight, man. It said, did I see Sean Zattel? No, I didn't. I seen he was there, but I ain't see him. He must have stood in his little section or something. But to be real, I stood in my section too. I was watching an old live where you was debunking both of them niggas. Who's both of them niggas? Was it that John where they was being flip floppy with boots and all that shit? Oh, but I just don't like when niggas be like, I just don't like when niggas be like, oh, I fuck with this person. Then they say not disrespectful shit, but they say shit that will only be said if they don't fuck with that person. You seen Sean at the commentator tables? Oh, okay. Yeah. Bro, I don't know how y'all was seeing all these people. Like, I don't know if my vision just trash or my recognition skills are dookie. I don't know what it is. But I couldn't see nobody, but everybody could see me. My dad was like, yo, I see you. I see you. Do you see my flashlight? No, nigga. People taking pictures of me and shit and sending it to me, bro. I don't see none of y'all niggas. Like, I don't know where. What be killing me is like, oh yeah, Boots is in a 50-50 fight. Oh, this dude gonna give Boots a lot of fits. Then Boots step on him. But that guy wasn't really nobody. Who was he really for? It's like, bro, y'all niggas, bro, y'all different. You be binge watching the old live sometimes. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Good to know I'm a source of entertainment for y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy because I used to do that with 78 Sports TV all the time. When I was a young boy, bro, and I had a lot of downtime, working at ShopRite and shit, just being a kid. I'm trying to tell you, like, that's why I put so much respect on 78 Sports TV name, because he the one who inspired me to come on here and talk to y'all. I ain't never ever thought about recording myself and giving my opinions on the sport of boxing or anything like that. I was always knowledgeable, but I never really cared to share it with the internet. You know what I'm saying? But then when I seen like how dope the content was and how, bro, he inspired me to make my own channel. And I was real inconsistent in my teenage years, bro. I had a lot going on. But yeah, he the one who sparked that flame for real. The Hitchens gossip had me dying today. Best boxing gossip I heard in a while. Man, that nigga's a clown. Don't get me started, bro. I'm tired. I don't even want to get. Do I agree with Greg that Ortiz is super easy work? He can be. It depends on Boots' approach because Boots got this thing. Oh, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I'll do whatever I want in there. I think Boots needs to, instead of doing what he wants, he needs to do what he needs to do. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do what you want to do. Do what you need to do. And that's boxing. Boots is a superior fighter all around in comparison to Virgil Ortiz. I know niggas was hyped because he slept Lubin a couple months ago. And that recency bias was very much real. But if Boots keeps that jab on him, punches around his high guard, shoots, and Boots is accurate enough to shoot shots in between his high guard, turn him. Man, Boots was style all over Virgil, man, and he'll break Virgil up. It ain't like Virgil just gonna be walking through the fire and putting that pressure on Boots. Like, no, that shit, Boots hits hard, man. Boots got serious punching power and he got serious speed and he got blistering combinations. And that shit piles up fast. Like, Boots ain't that type of nigga where he punching on you and you don't feel it to the 10th round. No, you feel that shit immediately. Immediately. Alexander. That nigga was getting tattooed off rip. That was like Boots' second or third combination. He's like, bro, I gotta sit down. I gotta take this count. And that was the first time Xander ever dropped. That nigga fell almost effortlessly in that first round. It was like no hesitation, went right down. Like that shit, that accumulation piles up fast because he's punching a combination. He's super fast and he's super powerful. Virgil don't got no defense, man. Virgil best bet is for Boots to have a terrible approach, just trying to bang with Virgil on the inside and he catch Boots in a 50-50 exchange. That's the only way. But even then, I never seen Virgil sleep a nigga with one punch. Like, he don't got that type of power. Yeah, I mean, he got good finishing ability. He could wobble a motherfucker for sure. But I ain't never see this nigga flatline nobody where they just, they sleep, they can't get up, they can't, recuperate and shit like that. So I don't know, man. I think that if Boots does what he needs to do, I think he would embarrass Virgil. And I think they know that. And I think that's why they've been making it so difficult to be made. Teach says people prepare for Boots wrong. Gotta prepare for the speed. It's more than just speed, bro. I'm telling you. It's more than just speed. That shit that Boots got, you really not gonna find nobody to prepare for that. That's the problem. It's the athleticism, it's the reflexes. Yeah. Irony Boxer said, facts, bro. Boots would massacre Virgil. I do give Virgil a decent shot versus Fundora, though. Me too. I think Virgil got a really good style to give Fundora problems and possibly beat him. But both of them guys are going to take punishment in that fight. Virgil getting punched on and Fundora getting punched on. I think what it's going to come down to is durability. That's what I think it's going to come down to. And Virgil, I think, is more durable than Fundora. What fucked me up about Virgil, though, is the nigga can actually box, but he just be so set in his ways to fight. He's really emotional in the ring. That should have hurt him against somebody like Boots, too. Get emotional with Boots and just try to step to him, man. You know what I mean? Just take that damage while you walking forward. You're going to get packed. You're going to get packed. Virgil Sr. going to have to throw that towel in. Him or Robert, one of them. Okay, Tricks, you entitled to your opinion, brother. Fundora's a cherry picker, that's a fact. He said he got upset because immediately after Boots won, his promoter, Samson Lukowicz, said that Fundora's fighting Ermal. He said that made us look like we're scared or whatever. No, nigga, that ain't what made y'all look scared. How about the shit in the past that Samson Lukowicz did? I never saw you address that. You ain't addressed that rehydration clause with Xander Zayas giving up a belt not to fight Xander Zayas. And yeah. That's not what make y'all niggas look turkey. It's the other shit. I was watching a clip when Boots threw a combination at Xander. The zone posted it and all that. He was like in close proximity with Xander, but still found a way to get full extension on the left hand and land it cleanly. Like there's some people when they be in too close, they can't throw certain shots because that shot might get smothered or whatever the case is, or you know what I'm saying? They just don't feel comfortable throwing a shot that close in the pocket. This motherfucker Boots was standing in southpaw. He was in the southpaw stance, and he threw a short little combination on the inside. Both shots landed. Then he followed up with a straight left hand, and he really ain't have much like space between him and Xander to really get that shit off. But somehow, some way, he found a way to squeeze that punch in and follow through and punch through Xander. I'm like, bro, that's a tough ass shot to land, in close range like that. I was like, God damn, that was a fucking there's levels to this accuracy shit. He threw that fucking left hand, and I don't know, with him being so close in the pocket like that, that's a hard shot to land. He fucking landed that shit. Boots a bad motherfucker, man. I'm telling you. I'm proud of Boots though, man. That dude worked his ass off to get where he at, man. This motherfucker was in a gym with holes in the ceiling, blasting kerosene tanks around the gym to keep it warm. Dirty, like old ran down ring and old bags and like really just it was a building, but that shit was like a shell for real. And I seen Boots come up from that, man, and crazy. I seen that dude really come up Motherfuckers didn't even know who Boots was. I was trying to tell everybody. I was telling my niggas in high school. I'm like, yo, that nigga Boots, bro. I'm telling you, like he's. I remember when Boots was going around calling himself. Niggas don't even remember this. Boots used to go around calling himself the Black Mexican. Boots used to go around calling himself the Black Mexican. Bro, I got so many dope questions for Boots, bro. It's gonna be questions that, and I've never said them out loud because I know niggas will take them. Niggas be on my channel dicky and on the regular. I got so many questions that Boots ain't never heard before, bro. That whenever that interview come about, that shit gonna be fire. Yeah, niggas don't know that because niggas wasn't really, and I'm not saying y'all, I don't know how long y'all been around watching Boots, but niggas really ain't watched Boots from the beginning. Boots used to call himself the Black Mexican. Me and Boots had a conversation one time in the DM where he was talking about going down to 140. And I told that nigga, nah, bro. What you need to go down to 140 for? He's like, man, because I just make 47 so easy. Like, it was, like, I remember that shit. I'm mad I still ain't got I must have deleted them or whatever. But me and Boots had a back and forth in the DM a few times. I'm like, you trying to go down to 140 for what? He said, man, I'll be weighing in like 145 and all. I make 147 so easy, blah, blah. I said, man, you ain't got to do that. And I don't know, I'm not saying that he listened to me, but I was telling him, nah, bro, like you good at 47, bro. Remember that shit? All that. He was calling himself I don't know why he was calling himself the Black Mexican. I really don't know why. He had came out with like Mexico trunks on and all. He said Boots need better names. Bro, he just beat a unified champion. It wasn't like his nickname. Like it wasn't like his nickname was Boots, obviously. But what I'm saying is he used to call himself that, the Black Mexican. I remember that shit. If I go back to his old post, I could probably find it. It's like really, really old though. That nigga Devin Haney posting himself training at 12 in the morning. That boy working, man. That boy Devin dedicated, man. Boots invited to the carne asada. That's funny. Yeah, he deleted all his old shit, but I'm telling you, he deleted all his old posts. Even though we know somehow we Teach said Boots said he had all his brother styles and combined into one. Do you agree with that? I've only seen Pooh box. Yeah, for Rob, I mean, for what I remember, I mean, when them niggas was pro, I was a baby. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm Boots' age. So when they was coming up, I was a young boy. I really wasn't paying attention to boxing. I was in La La Land and shit. But from what I heard, Farah was the puncher. You know what I'm saying? Like he was strong, big puncher. And Farah, a big dude. I don't know if you ever seen him, but he a big dude. And I seen him hitting the bag and shit like that the last time I was over there. He definitely strong. So, for Poole was super fast. Like this nigga had fast ass hands. He could box his ass off too. Real slick, fast hands. Boots got both of those qualities. Now, I never seen Bozy box, but Bozy one of them, OG, light on the toes, you know what I mean? You know, hands down, reflexes type dude, Boots being all of that too. So he may very well be a combination of his father and his two brothers because they all have different qualities, and he happens to have all of the qualities that they all have combined into one. Then if Farah fight Badu, I think he did. I think he did. Yeah, yeah. They according to them, they got caught up in the streets and shit like that though. Like they got distracted. But Boots is the only one to keep his head on straight, man. It's kind of like like the Vargas brothers right now, like Fernando Vargas Jr. He on some bullshit. What's the other one? Amado? He on some bullshit. Emiliano, the only one who listening to his pop. This nigga out hating on Boots low key. Out hating like a motherfucker, hating on Devin too. Let me find out, Al. Let me find out you be hating on these niggas, man. I ain't never say the Vargases was from the streets. Farad and Pooh, they was top contenders in their divisions. Like they never became world champion, but they was like ranked contenders. You know what I'm saying? So I find that shit hilarious when people be shitting on Bozy. It's like, bro, this nigga done built multiple fighters from scratch and made them somebody in the sport of boxing. Like, you know how hard that is to do? That shit's not easy, man. He building them from scratch, like they babies when he bred them into being top contenders, world champions. Like, man, y'all would never know. There's trainers who build fighters for years and never get a world champion. Don't mean that they a trash coach. They just never got to that level. Bozy did that. Come on, man. Andy too small for Boots. Teach like y'all don't even be understanding. Like Boots be punching on like niggas who his weight too small for him in them sparring sessions. As crazy as that shit sound, Boots be sparring middleweight, 154s, middleweights, super middleweights, light heavyweights, bro. Like those be the only niggas that could deal with the shit that he dishing out. Guys who are significantly bigger than him. Like if you 147, they not even gonna let you spar Boots. Like if you 147, nigga, they not even gonna waste their time. They were like, nah, he too small. Switch him out. Ain't Al the dude who said a boxer can't get a black eye because he black. He said that? Yo, Al, you said that? Oh man, yo, you trying to be funny. No, no, Al, you ain't my pal with that bullshit, man. Hell no. No, that shit ain't funny. Anyways, no, no, he had to go. That was crazy. I never heard him say that, but he admitted he did. Get him the fuck up out of here. Get him the fuck up out of here. I don't even play like that. Boots be knocking out heavyweights. I've seen it. I've seen it. Well, I didn't see it. Like I didn't personally see him knock out a heavyweight, but I done heard shit. I heard about him putting cruiserweights to sleep and breaking eardrums and all types of shit. Shit different. Yeah, I don't even play like that. Bello like that type of shit not funny to me because I know like that shit got like a racist undertone. I don't play like that, bro. I read that shit real quick. I don't know. I didn't even know he used to, I don't even know. I didn't even know he acted like that. Yeah, that's weirdo shit, bro. Can't get a black eye because he black. What? She definitely she caught on to that nigga quick. She was like, "Didn't you say this?" Oh, I do not never heard. I never read him. I never even heard him say that. But he said, "Yeah, I said that. It was a joke." Some shit you can't play with, bro. To me, for real, I don't even want to hear you say no stupid shit like that. Even if you black, I don't even want to hear you say that because that sound like you got some type of hatred or whatever the kid. That shit not funny, bro. The internet made it cool to just try to joke about anything. Like, no, we ain't doing that. He said, Mark, answer my question about Paul Canelo. Yo, you better stop demanding shit, Jay. You got me fucked up, nigga. What's wrong with you? Motherfucker. It's like, no. Let me see. He said, I also wonder how did Canelo get in contact with Pooh back in 2016. I mean, the boxing world real small, brother. So it could have been through promoters. You know what I mean? Because Canelo was a name. Canelo was a name. You feel what I'm saying? I think he used him to get ready for. I forgot what fight he used Pooh for. I don't think it was Austin Trout. I think it was Shane Mosley. I think it was the Shane Mosley fight. So that goes some time back. But Canelo Alvarez was a name, and you know what I mean. Maybe Canelo's promoter at the time, Oscar De La Hoya, reached out to somebody over there and was able to get him sparring. There's so many different ways to get in contact with people, man. So it could have been Canelo reaching out. Maybe he had a direct line to Bozy and them. Maybe he knew somebody that knew Bozy and them, and shit like that. So they just brought him over. It's real easy to get in contact. You could get in contact with just about anybody in the industry, bro. Like it's not hard. Whether it's through a promoter or you just reaching out to them directly yourself, it's easy. Um Dabrowski MMA, salute, brother. He says, you think the 160 stipulation was due to maybe a later arrival than expected? I mean, that's a possibility, but at the same time, um, I can't help but think that maybe Errol Spence's inactivity and him being in his mid 30s and also, him listening to his body, I guess he felt like having those additional 2 pounds would help him out a little more in the lead up to this fight. It could be a variety of things. We really don't know. Only Earl Spence knows why they put in that request, and I'm sure they're gonna ask him. But if they haven't asked him already, because I know he touched down in Australia. But it could be because he's heavier than expected. It could be because he's listening to his body, and he just wants to focus on recovery until the fight. Um, Maybe he's already at 160 and he likes the way he feels, so he just wants to stay there. It could be so many things, man. Maybe his body isn't, responding well to the weight cuts because he hasn't cut weight in 3 years. It could be so many things, man. And what's confusing more than anything, and I've been saying this, Errol doesn't look heavy. He looks like he's close to being on weight. So the fact that he requested an additional 2 pounds, it's like, it don't look like you have a weight. Doesn't look like Errol has a weight problem. His face don't look sunken in. You know what I'm saying? It don't look like he dehydrated and nothing. You don't hear anything in his speech that makes you feels like he's dehydrated. So it's like, what is this? His energy looks good. He looks fine. So why is it that he asked for that additional 2 pounds and the nigga just don't want to cut weight? What is it? Because it looked like he's in the low 60s already. That's just how it looks to me. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm sure Errol will explain. Errol's seems to be a very transparent, honest type of person. So we'll see. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and show love as always. Go ahead and hit the like button on the way out. That'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,600 mark. Looking to crack that 3,700 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. Shout out to everybody that contributed in the chat and kept this conversation alive and going for the past 2 hours. I'll be back at y'all with another live tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world. Until then, hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.